Sign the marriage certificate or I'll send you to prison tonight. Olivia's hand froze over the document. The pen trembled between her fingers. Luca Moretti's cold eyes bore into hers, and she knew this wasn't a bluff. Behind him through the glass windows of his penthouse office, the city glittered like broken promises. 24 hours ago, she'd been a financial analyst with a normal life. Now she was staring at a contract that would make her the wife of the city's most dangerous man. You have 60 seconds. Oh, Session, Luca said, his voice sharp as a knife. After that, the police arrive. Your choice. Prison or him. Freedom or survival. She grabbed the pen. Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button right now and watch until the very end to see how far Olivia will go to survive. Drop a comment with your city so I can see where you're watching from. Trust me, you won't believe what happens next. Now let's begin. I didn't steal anything. Olivia's voice cracked as she slammed her hands on the detective's desk. The fluorescent lights hummed overhead, harsh and unforgiving. Detective Raymond Chen, no relation though he had made a point of mentioning it, looked at her with dead eyes. The evidence says otherwise, Ms. Chen. $200,000. Your login, your signature, your access codes. He slid a manila folder across the desk. You want to tell me how someone else managed to be you? She couldn't. That was the problem. 3 days ago, she'd walked into Meridian Financial like every other morning. Coffee from the corner shop. Smile at security. Elevator to the 14th floor. And then her boss, Richard, had called her into his office, and her entire world had shattered. The audit found discrepancies. Richard had said not meeting her eyes. Large transfers, unauthorized withdrawals. Your credentials were used for all of them. That's impossible. I would never. Security footage shows you staying late on the exact nights the transfers occurred. Your computer. Your login. I'm sorry, Olivia, but we have to call the police. Now sitting in this interrogation room with its peeling paint and one-way mirror, Olivia understood something crucial. The truth didn't matter. Someone had set her up and they'd done it perfectly. I need a lawyer, she said quietly. You need a miracle, Detective Chen replied. Court date's in 6 days. I'd use that time to think about a plea deal. They released her 2 hours later. No bail, she couldn't afford it. House arrest with an ankle monitor that beeped every time she got too close to a door. Olivia stood outside the police station, rain starting to fall, and pulled out her phone. 17 missed calls from her sister Jenny. 9 from the hospital where her mother was receiving treatment. 43 texts from friends and former coworkers. Most of them some variation of, I can't believe you did this. The first call she made was to the hospital. Ms. Chen, Nurse Patricia's voice was strained. I've been trying to reach you. Your mother's insurance claim was denied. The new treatment protocol, Dr. Harrison recommended, it's not covered. Without it, we're looking at maybe 3 months. With it, she could have years. How much? Olivia asked, though she already knew the answer would destroy her. 80,000 for the first round, then ongoing pause. I'm so sorry. Olivia ended the call. She didn't have 80,000. She didn't have 800. Her savings account held $1,200 in change. Her checking account was overdrawn. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. Don't hang up, a male voice said the moment she answered. Deep, controlled, familiar though she couldn't place it. You're Olivia Chen. You have 6 days until your trial. You're going to lose, but I can help you. Who is this? Someone who knows you didn't steal that money. Someone who can make this all go away. But I need something from you first. I don't have any money, Olivia said bitterly. In case you haven't heard, I'm an accused thief. I don't want your money. I want you at the Grandview Hotel tonight. 8 o'clock, ballroom entrance. Wear something nice. I'm on house arrest. Not anymore. Check your ankle monitor. Olivia looked down. The light that had been blinking red was now green. The device fell off her leg and clattered to the sidewalk. How did you? 8 o'clock, Miss Chen. Don't be late. Your mother doesn't have time for you to waste on pride. The line went dead. Olivia should have called the police. Should have reported the tampering with her monitor. Should have done 1,000 things that made sense. Instead, she went home to her tiny apartment, pulled her only good dress from the back of her closet, and tried to make herself look like someone who belonged at the Grandview Hotel. The ballroom was everything she wasn't: elegant, expensive, powerful. Crystal chandeliers cast rainbow light across marble floors. Women in designer gowns floated past on the arms of men in tuxedos. Olivia stood at the entrance in her 3-year-old black dress and felt like an imposter. Miss Chen, she turned. The man approaching her was tall, dark-haired, devastatingly handsome in a way that felt dangerous. Tailored tuxedo, cold eyes, a smile that didn't reach them. Luca Moretti, he said, offering his hand. Thank you for coming. She knew the name. Everyone in the city knew Luca Moretti, CEO of Moretti Industries, billionaire philanthropist. And if the rumors were true, something much darker underneath the polished surface. You're the one who called, she said, not taking his hand. I am. Walk with me. We need to talk, and we can't do it here. I'm not going anywhere with you until you tell me what this is about. Luca's smile sharpened. Fair enough. You're being framed for embezzlement. The person who framed you is Richard Castellano, your former boss. He stole the money to cover gambling debts, and he used you as a scapegoat because you were convenient, hardworking, trustworthy, desperate enough to work late hours without asking questions. Olivia's breath caught. How do you know that? Because Richard owes money to people who work for me, people who are very interested in getting their money back. But here's the problem. If Richard goes to prison for embezzlement, he can't pay his debts. So we need someone else to take the fall. That was supposed to be you. Plans change. I have a better use for you now. Luca stepped closer, lowering his voice. I need a wife. Not forever. Just long enough to satisfy certain business requirements. 2 years. You play the role convincingly, and I'll clear your name, take care of your mother's medical bills, and pay your sister's tuition through graduation. You're insane. I'm practical. You have something I need: respectability, anonymity, the appearance of normalcy. I have something you need: power, money, protection. This is a business transaction, nothing more. And if I say no, Luca's expression didn't change, but something cold flickered in his eyes. Then I leave. Richard's evidence holds. You go to trial in 6 days and lose. 7 to 10 years in prison. Your mother dies without her treatments. Your sister drops out of school. Everything you've sacrificed for destroyed. All because you have too much pride to accept help. A waiter passed by with champagne. Olivia grabbed a glass with shaking hands. The crystal felt fragile, like it might shatter if she gripped too hard. Why me? She demanded. If you just need a wife for appearances, you could have anyone in this room. I need someone with no connections, no powerful family who'll ask questions, no friends in high places who might investigate. You're perfect because you're powerless. That's not an insult, it's a fact. And right now, your powerlessness is exactly what makes you valuable to me. The champagne tasted like ash. Olivia set the glass down on a nearby table before she could throw it in his face. How do I know you're not lying? How do I know you'll actually help my mother? You don't, but you also don't have any other options, do you? Luca pulled out his phone, tapped the screen, then showed it to her. That's your mother's hospital account. The payment was processed 10 minutes ago. Full treatment protocol approved and funded. Consider it a down payment on our arrangement. Olivia stared at the screen. $80,000, just like that, like it meant nothing. The wedding is in 1 hour, Luca continued. My attorney is waiting. We'll sign the papers tonight, and tomorrow morning, new evidence will surface, clearing you of all charges. Richard will disappear. Not dead, just relocated somewhere. He can't cause problems. Your life continues. Better than before, actually. All you have to do is say yes. 1 hour, Olivia's voice rose. You expect me to marry you in 1 hour? I expect you to make a rational decision based on your circumstances. 1 hour or I walk away and the hospital reverses the payment. Your choice. This couldn't be real. This couldn't be happening. But the phone screen didn't lie. The payment was real. Luca Moretti was real. And the alternative prison, her mother dying, Jenny's future destroyed, that was real too. If I do this, Olivia said slowly, I want everything in writing. Every promise you just made. Legal documentation that protects me if you decide to change the terms. Already prepared, my attorney will review it with you before the ceremony. And what exactly would this marriage entail? What would you expect from me? Public appearances, business events, social functions? You'll live in my home and maintain the appearance of being my wife. In private, you have your own space, your own life within reason. No intimacy required beyond what's necessary for appearances. After 2 years, we divorced quietly. You receive a settlement of $5 million and walk away with a clean reputation. $5 million. The number was so absurd, Olivia almost laughed. There has to be a catch. People don't just give away $5 million. I'm not giving it away. I'm purchasing 2 years of your time and your discretion. That's worth $5 million to me. Luca checked his watch. 55 minutes. I need an answer. Olivia closed her eyes. She thought of her mother, frail and fading in that hospital bed. She thought of Jenny, so bright and hopeful, believing the world was fair. She thought of the prison cell waiting for her, cold and small and final. Will you tell me the real reason, she asked. Not the business transaction explanation. The real reason you are doing this. Luca was quiet for a long moment. When he spoke, his voice was softer than before, almost human. My father is dying, cancer. He has one wish before he goes to see me married, settled, continuing the family legacy. I could tell him the truth that I have no interest in marriage or family, but why cause him pain in his final months? This way he dies happy, believing I've found someone. After he's gone, we divorce and no one's hurt. It's a kindness disguised as a transaction. It was the first honest thing he'd said, Olivia realized. The first glimpse of something real beneath the cold exterior. Okay, she whispered. Okay, what? Okay, I'll marry you. Luca's expression didn't change, but something flickered in those cold eyes. Relief, satisfaction. Whatever it was, it vanished quickly. This way, he said, offering his arm. The attorney's office was all dark wood and leather furniture. The lawyer herself, a severe woman named Patricia Huang, walked Olivia through the contract with brisk efficiency. Everything Luca had promised was there in legal language that left no room for interpretation. Medical care for her mother, tuition for Jenny, housing and living expenses, the divorce settlement, all contingent on Olivia fulfilling her role as Mrs. Moretti for 24 months. Sign here, initial here, date here. Olivia's hand trembled as she signed away 2 years of her life. The ceremony took place in the same office. An officiant appeared, a tired-looking man who clearly did this often. 2 witnesses Olivia had never seen. Luca's hand was cold when he slipped the ring on her finger. The diamond was massive, flawless, and felt like a shackle. I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride. Luca's kiss was brief, professional, completely devoid of feeling. His lips touched hers for barely a second before he pulled away. Mrs. Moretti, he said, and Olivia heard her future in those 2 words. The house, calling it a house, felt inadequate, was a monument to wealth and isolation. Glass and steel perched on a hillside surrounded by gates and security cameras. Luca led her through rooms that felt more like museum exhibits than living spaces. Your bedroom, he said, opening a door. Everything you need is here. Maria manages the household staff. She'll help you adjust. The room was beautiful and empty. Olivia stood in the center of it, still wearing the white dress someone had provided for the ceremony, and felt utterly alone. Where will you be? She asked. Other wing. We maintain separate spaces. Luca paused in the doorway. There's an event tomorrow night. High-profile donors and business associates. You'll need to be ready by 7. Maria will prepare you. I don't know how to. I've never been to anything like that. You'll learn quickly. My world doesn't have patience for slow learners. His tone wasn't cruel, just matter of fact. Good night, Olivia. Welcome to your new life. The door closed. Olivia walked to the window and looked out at the city below, glittering and distant. Somewhere down there was her old apartment, her old life, the person she used to be. Her phone buzzed. Jenny. Oh my God, Liv, where have you been? I've been calling for days. Are you okay? What's happening with the case? Olivia's throat tightened. Jenny, I need to tell you something. I got married. Silence. Then you what? I got married. Tonight, to someone who can help with Mom's treatments in your school. Who, Liv? What are you talking about? You don't even have a boyfriend. His name is Luca Moretti. It's complicated, but Mom's treatments are covered now. Everything Dr. Harrison wanted to try, and your tuition is paid through graduation. I don't understand. Who is this person? Someone who could help when no one else could. Olivia pressed her forehead against the cool glass. I need you to trust me. Okay, I know this sounds crazy, but I'm safe. I'm handling it. Handling it, Liv? You sound terrified. I'm fine, I promise. I'll call you tomorrow and explain more. I need you to know that everything's going to be okay now. For you and Mom. She ended the call before Jenny could ask more questions she couldn't answer. Sleep was impossible. Olivia lay on top of the expensive bedding, still in the white dress, and stared at the ceiling. At some point near dawn, exhaustion pulled her under. She woke to knocking. Mrs. Moretti, it's Maria. May I come in? The older woman entered carrying a breakfast tray, coffee pastries, fresh fruit. Her smile was warm, genuine, the first kind thing Olivia had encountered in days. You didn't eat last night, Maria said, setting the tray down. Mr. Moretti mentioned it. You need to keep your strength up. How long have you worked for him? Olivia asked. 15 years, since he was just starting out. Maria poured the coffee with practiced ease. He's not an easy man, Mrs. Moretti, but he's fair. If he made you promises, he'll keep them. And if I don't keep mine, Maria's expression grew serious. Then you'll learn that fairness cuts both ways. Mr. Moretti protects what's his, but he doesn't tolerate betrayal. Not from anyone. The message was clear. Play the role or suffer the consequences. The rest of the day was a whirlwind. A stylist arrived with racks of designer clothing. A hairstylist, a makeup artist who studied Olivia's face like it was a problem to solve. Strong features, the makeup artist murmured. Good bones will emphasize power, not softness. Mrs. Moretti needs to look like she belongs at her husband's side. At 6:30, Olivia barely recognized herself in the mirror. Emerald dress that hugged every curve. Hair swept up in an elegant twist. Borrowed diamonds at her ears and throat. She looked wealthy, powerful. Nothing like the woman who'd stood in a police interrogation room 3 days ago. Luca appeared exactly at 7. He studied her for a long moment, his expression unreadable. You'll do, he said finally. Let's go. In the car, he handed her a folder thick with photographs and information. Key people you'll meet tonight. Memorize the first section, the ones who matter. Names, faces, basic background. Olivia flipped through page after page. Margaret Chen, CEO. David Park, real estate mogul. James Morrison, city councilman. Sarah Kim, federal prosecutor. I can't memorize all this in 20 minutes, she protested. Then focus on what's important. The people who'll ask you questions about us, about how we met when I proposed why we married so suddenly. We need our story consistent. What is our story? We met 6 months ago at a charity auction. Connection was immediate, but we kept it private because I value discretion. I proposed 2 weeks ago. You said yes because you love me. The word love in his cold clinical voice sounded absurd. No one will believe that, Olivia said. They'll believe it because the alternative is calling me a liar, and very few people are willing to risk that. Luca glanced at her. You'll smile, you'll stay close to me. Touch my arm occasionally, light touches, natural, affectionate. Let me lead conversations, but don't be silent. You're nervous about entering my world, but you're handling it with grace. Can you do that? I don't know. Yes or no. Can you do it? Olivia looked at the diamond on her finger, this beautiful lie she was wearing. Yes, she said. The gala was overwhelming. Hundreds of people in formal wear, orchestra music floating through the air, champagne flowing like water. The moment they walked in, camera flashes exploded. Olivia felt every eye in the room lock onto her. Smile, Luca murmured. You're happy to be here. She smiled. It felt like her face might crack. They moved through the crowd, Luca's hand firm on her back. He introduced her to person after person, and somehow, miraculously, Olivia found herself remembering names and faces from the folder. Olivia, this is Margaret Chen. No relation, she'll make sure you know that. Margaret's handshake was brief, her smile sharp. How unexpected. Luca Moretti married. I didn't think I'd live to see it. Life is full of surprises, Luca said smoothly. They moved on. David Park and his wife Linda. James Morrison with his political smile. And then Sarah Kim, the federal prosecutor, whose eyes missed nothing. Mrs. Moretti, Sarah said, her voice friendly but her gaze calculating. What a lovely surprise. Though I have to say the timing is interesting. The timing, Olivia's heart rate spiked. The embezzlement case at Meridian Financial. You wouldn't know anything about that, would you? Woman named Olivia Chen, same name as you, actually. She was accused of stealing $200,000. But this morning all charges were dropped. New evidence came to light apparently. Quite a coincidence. Luca's hand tightened on Olivia's back, a warning. I'm afraid I don't follow, Olivia said carefully. Don't you? Because I find it fascinating how a case that solid could fall apart overnight. Makes one wonder what changed, or who intervened. Perhaps the evidence wasn't as solid as people thought, Luca interjected. Or perhaps someone was about to destroy an innocent woman's life over a mistake. Either way, it's resolved. If you'll excuse us, Sarah. He guided Olivia away, but she could feel the prosecutor's eyes following them. She knows, Olivia whispered. She knows this isn't real. She suspects. Let her. She can't prove anything, and by next week there will be new scandals to occupy her attention. But it didn't feel that simple. For the next hour, Olivia felt like she was being watched, evaluated, judged. Every smile felt forced. Every conversation felt like a test she was failing. During a brief moment alone, Luca had stepped away to take a phone call. A woman approached, stunning, dangerous, with red lips and cold eyes. You must be the new Mrs. Moretti, she said, her voice dripping with honey and poison. I'm Victoria Cross, the name from Luca's folder. Real estate, old money, dangerous connections. It's nice to meet you, Olivia said automatically. Oh, I doubt that, but it's amusing that you're trying. Victoria sipped her champagne, never breaking eye contact. Tell me something. How does it feel to wear my ring? Olivia's stomach dropped. I'm sorry. That diamond on your finger, it was meant for me. Luca and I had an understanding. We were supposed to merge our families, our businesses. And then you appeared from nowhere and suddenly all our plans changed. Victoria's smile turned razor sharp. So I'm curious, what does he have on you? Because this marriage makes no sense otherwise. That's insulting. Is it Luca Moretti doesn't do anything without calculating every angle? He doesn't fall in love. He doesn't marry strangers. He doesn't make impulsive decisions. So either you have something he desperately needs, or he has leverage that forced you into this. Which is it? Neither. We're in love. That's all. Victoria laughed, bright and cruel. You're not even good at lying. How disappointing. I was hoping for better competition. She finished her champagne and set the glass down. Word of advice, Mrs. Moretti. Whatever deal you made with him, whatever you think he promised you, it won't end well. Luca always gets what he wants, and when he's finished with you, you'll wish you'd chosen the prison instead. She walked away, leaving Olivia shaking. The room felt too hot, too crowded. She needed air. She needed to breathe. She found a balcony off a side room and stepped outside. The cool night air hit her face and she gripped the railing, trying to steady herself. You shouldn't be alone out here. Luca's voice. Olivia didn't turn around. I needed a minute. Victoria spoke to you. Not a question. How did you know? I saw her approach. I know how she operates. He moved to stand beside her at the railing. What did she say? That the ring I'm wearing was meant for her. That you and she had an understanding. That this marriage doesn't make sense. Victoria has many understandings, most of them existing only in her own mind. She said, when you're done with me, I'll wish I'd chosen prison. Luca was quiet for a moment. When he spoke, his voice was harder than she'd ever heard it. Victoria is poison. Everything she says is designed to wound, to manipulate, to serve her own agenda. She wanted to marry me for my money and my connections. She's angry that I chose someone else. That's all this is. And what did you choose me for? The question burst out before Olivia could stop it. Because it clearly wasn't love. So what am I to you, really? Luca turned to face her fully. In the moonlight, his features looked carved from stone. You want honesty? Fine. I chose you because you were desperate enough to say yes and smart enough to play the part convincingly. I chose you because you have no power, no connections, no one who would look too closely at this arrangement. You're perfect because you're powerless. The words hit like physical blows. Olivia felt tears prick her eyes and blinked them back furiously. But here's what Victoria doesn't understand. Luca continued, his voice softer now. I protect what's mine. You're my wife, on paper and public, in every way that matters to the world. That means you're under my protection. And no one, not Victoria, not Sarah Kim, not anyone gets to threaten you without answering to me. That's the deal. That's what I'm offering. Protection, not partnership. I don't believe in partnerships. I believe in contracts. Ours is very clear. You play your role, I protect you and your family. 2 years, then freedom. Nothing more, nothing less. Olivia looked at him, this stranger who was now her husband. This cold, calculating man who spoke of her like she was an asset on a spreadsheet. And yet, standing here in the darkness, she thought she saw something else in his eyes, something almost human. I need to know something, she said. The embezzlement. Who really took that money? Luca's expression shuddered. It doesn't matter. It matters to me. Someone framed me. Someone tried to destroy my life. I need to know who. Richard Castellano, your former boss. He had gambling debts. He used you as his scapegoat. The confirmation hit harder than Olivia expected. Richard, the man who'd smiled at her every morning, who'd recommended her for promotion, who'd destroyed her without hesitation to save himself. Where is he now? She asked. Gone, relocated. You won't see him again. That's not justice. No, it's pragmatism. Richard owed money to people I work with. Dead or imprisoned, he can't pay. So he's alive and earning, and you're free. Everyone gets what they need. Except me, I don't get justice. You get something better. You get to move forward. Luca checked his watch. We need to go back inside. People will notice our absence. He offered his arm. Olivia stared at it, this simple gesture that meant everything and nothing. Then she placed her hand in the crook of his elbow and let him lead her back into the bright artificial warmth of the gala. The rest of the night blurred together. More faces, more names, more conversations that felt like performances. Olivia smiled until her cheeks ached. She made small talk about nothing. She let Luca touch her arm, her back, her hand, each contact calculated and cold. And through it all, Victoria's words echoed in her mind. When he's done with you, you'll wish you'd chosen prison. Maybe she was right. Maybe this deal would destroy her more completely than any prison sentence. But as Olivia watched Luca navigate this world of power and money with effortless grace, a new thought crystallized. She wouldn't let him discard her. Wouldn't be just another transaction in his calculations. If she was going to survive this marriage, she needed to become more than the desperate woman he'd rescued. She needed to become indispensable. And that meant finding out everything about Richard, about the money, about Luca's real agenda, about why a man who claimed he didn't need anyone had married a stranger. The car ride home was silent. Luca typed on his phone, dealing with whatever crisis demanded his attention. Olivia stared out the window at the city lights blurring past. Back at the house, she headed straight for her room. But Luca's voice stopped her. Olivia. She turned. You did well tonight, he said. Better than I expected. It wasn't quite a compliment, but it wasn't criticism either. Thank you, she said quietly. Tomorrow we'll establish a routine. You'll need to learn how to navigate my world more thoroughly. Maria will help. And Olivia? He met her eyes. Don't let Victoria get in your head. She's a distraction. Nothing more. He walked away, leaving Olivia alone in the hallway. In her room, she finally let herself collapse. She kicked off the painful heels, unzipped the expensive dress, and stood in front of the mirror in her underwear. The borrowed diamonds still glittered at her ears and throat. She removed them carefully, placing them in the velvet box Maria had provided. Without the dress and jewelry, she looked like herself again. Olivia Chen, 28 years old, alone. No, not Olivia Chen anymore. Olivia Moretti. She lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, and made herself a promise. She would learn Luca's world. She would play his game. She would become exactly what he needed her to be. And then when the time came, she would decide her own terms. Because one thing Victoria had gotten wrong, Olivia wasn't powerless anymore. She was married to the most powerful man in the city, and she was going to figure out how to use that. The knock came at 6 a.m, sharp and insistent. Olivia jerked awake, disoriented. For a moment, she didn't recognize the room. Too big, too expensive, too empty. Then reality crashed back. The marriage. Luca. Her new life. Mrs. Moretti, Maria's voice. Mr. Moretti wants to see you. Breakfast in his office. 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Olivia dragged herself out of bed, pulled on the silk robe hanging in the bathroom, probably cost more than her entire wardrobe back home, and tried to make herself look presentable. Her reflection showed dark circles under her eyes and hair that had given up any pretense of elegance. Luca's office was on the opposite side of the house through corridors that all looked identical. She got lost twice before finding the right door. He was already at his desk, suit jacket off, sleeves rolled up, reading something on his tablet. He didn't look up when she entered. "Sit," he said, gesturing to the chair across from him. Coffee was already poured, pastries arranged on a plate. Olivia sat and wrapped her hands around the warm cup, needing the heat. "We need to establish rules," Luca said, still not looking at her. "Public versus private. What's expected, what's forbidden." "Okay. In public, you're my wife. That means physical proximity. You stay within arm's reach at events. Light touches are acceptable, and encouraged even. Hand-holding when appropriate. Nothing more intimate unless I initiate it, and then you follow my lead. Questions. What counts as public? Anywhere with cameras. Anywhere with witnesses who matter. The house is private unless we're hosting. Maria and the staff are discreet." Olivia sipped her coffee. It was perfect, exactly how she liked it, which meant he'd asked someone about her preferences. The attention to detail was unnerving. "What about phone calls?" she asked. "Can I call my sister, my mother?" "Yes, but be careful what you say. Assume everything could become public." Luca finally looked up, his gray eyes sharp. "Your mother doesn't know about our arrangement. She knows I got married, not why. Keep it that way. As far as anyone outside this house is concerned, we're a real couple. Love, romance, the whole story. You break that illusion, you break our contract." "And what happens if I break the contract?" Luca's expression didn't change, but the temperature in the room seemed to drop. "Then I stop protecting you. The embezzlement charges come back. The evidence reappears. And this time there's no deal to save you. Your mother's treatments stop. Your sister's tuition disappears. Everything I gave you, I take away. Are we clear?" "Crystal clear." Olivia set down her coffee cup carefully. "What about you?" she asked. "What happens if you break the contract?" "I won't." "But if you did?" "I won't." His voice was flat, final. "I keep my word. Always. It's the only currency that matters in my world." Before Olivia could respond, Luca's phone buzzed. He glanced at the screen and his jaw tightened. "We have a problem," he said, turning the phone to show her. The headline made her stomach drop. Moretti's mystery bride, who is Olivia Chen. Below it, a photo from last night's gala. Her in the emerald dress, Luca's hand on her back, both of them looking like they belonged together. And beneath that, another photo, her mugshot from the police station. "How did they—" "Someone leaked it." Luca's voice was ice. "Someone wants to embarrass me by connecting you to the embezzlement case." "Victoria," Olivia breathed. "Possibly, or Sarah Kim, or any number of people who benefit from making me look vulnerable." He stood, grabbing his jacket. "Get dressed. Something professional but expensive. We're doing damage control." "What does that mean?" "It means we're going to tell our story before someone else tells it for us." 30 minutes later, Olivia found herself in the back of Luca's car heading downtown. Maria had provided a navy dress with a high neckline, pearl earrings, heels that added 3 inches. She looked respectable, unthreatening, exactly what they needed. "Where are we going?" she asked. "Press conference, Channel 7. They owe me a favor, so they'll let us control the narrative." Luca was typing rapidly on his phone. "You'll sit beside me. Look calm. When I talk about how we met, smile like you're remembering something wonderful. When they ask about the embezzlement, I'll handle it. You say nothing unless I tell you to speak." "Understood." "What if they ask me a direct question?" "Defer to me. My husband can answer that better. Keep it simple." The television station was chaos. Producers rushed past them, shouting into headsets. Cameras were being positioned. Bright lights made everything harsh and overexposed. A woman in a sharp suit approached. "Mr. Moretti, thank you for coming on such short notice. We're ready whenever you are." They were led to a set designed to look like a living room. 2 chairs positioned at angles. A coffee table between them. The host, a woman in her 40s with blonde hair and predatory eyes, was already seated. "Mr. and Mrs. Moretti," she said, smiling. "Shall we begin?" The cameras went live. The host's smile widened. "Luca Moretti, thank you for joining us. And your new bride, Olivia. Congratulations on your marriage." "Thank you, Rebecca," Luca said smoothly. "We're happy to be here. Though the circumstances are certainly unusual. You married very suddenly, very privately, and now there are questions about your wife's background, specifically her connection to an embezzlement case at Meridian Financial." Olivia's hands clenched in her lap. Luca's hand covered hers, warm, steady, a performance of comfort. "I'm glad you brought that up," he said, because I want to address it directly. Yes, Olivia was falsely accused of embezzlement. Yes, the charges were dropped because the real culprit was found. And yes, the timing of our marriage and the resolution of her case are connected because I wasn't going to let the woman I love suffer for a crime she didn't commit. Rebecca leaned forward. So you used your influence to clear her name. I used my resources to find the truth. Richard Castellano, Olivia's former supervisor, confessed to the theft. He's currently cooperating with authorities. The evidence against Olivia was fabricated to cover his tracks. Once that came to light, the charges were rightfully dismissed. It was a lie, a beautiful, seamless lie delivered with absolute conviction. And your relationship, Rebecca pressed. Some are saying this marriage is convenient, that you're using Olivia to what? Luca's voice sharpened. Improve my image. I don't need image improvement. Secure a business deal. I don't need a wife for that. The truth is simple, Rebecca. I fell in love with an extraordinary woman who was being destroyed by circumstances beyond her control. I had the power to help her, so I did. And then I asked her to marry me because I couldn't imagine my life without her. He looked at Olivia as he said it, and for a moment she almost believed him. His eyes held something that looked like genuine feeling, like actual warmth. Mrs. Moretti, Rebecca said, turning to her, you've been very quiet. How do you respond to people who say you married Luca for his money and protection? Olivia's throat went dry. She felt Luca's hand tighten on hers, a warning. Stick to the script. I'd say they don't know what they're talking about, she said quietly. I didn't want Luca's money. I wanted my name cleared. I wanted my life back. He gave me that, yes, but what he also gave me was belief. When everyone else assumed I was guilty, he believed in my innocence. That's not something you can buy. And the love, Rebecca's smile was sharp. When did that develop? Gradually, then suddenly. Olivia forced herself to meet the woman's eyes. Isn't that how it always happens? Rebecca studied her for a long moment, then turned back to Luca. Your father, Vincent Moretti, is quite ill. Is it true he wanted to see you married before he passed? Luca's expression didn't flicker, but Olivia felt him tense. My father is fighting cancer, he said. And yes, he's happy that I found someone. But I didn't marry Olivia for my father. I married her for myself. The interview continued for another 20 minutes. More questions, more carefully constructed answers, more performance of a love that didn't exist. By the time they walked out, Olivia's face hurt from smiling. In the car, Luca immediately pulled out his phone. That went well, he said, scrolling through something. The story's already shifting. Social media's eating it up. Billionaire saves innocent woman from false accusations and marries her. It's romantic enough to overshadow the skepticism. Richard confessed, Olivia asked. That's what you told them. Is it true? It will be by tonight. I have people handling it. You mean you are forcing him to confess to something that's already been buried? I'm having him confess to the truth. The method is irrelevant. Luca glanced at her. Does it bother you, the Lotting How? Shouldn't it? Not if it gets results, and it did. By tomorrow, you'll be seen as a victim who found her happy ending. The embezzlement will be a footnote. Richard will be the villain. Everyone gets a clean narrative. Olivia looked out the window. The city rushed past, indifferent to their manipulations. What happens to Richard Belly? He pays back what he stole, works off his debt, and disappears. He's alive. That's more than some people get. And if I wanted actual justice, if I wanted him prosecuted, then you'd be a fool. Justice is a luxury. Pragmatism is survival. Luca's phone buzzed again. He read the message and cursed under his breath. We have another problem. What now? Victoria just posted on social media a photo of the ring I gave you, with a caption about how it looks familiar. He showed her the post. Sure enough, there was a close-up of Olivia's engagement ring, and beneath it, beautiful ring. I remember when it was first designed. Such a shame about changing circumstances. Hashtag Moretti mystery. What does that mean? Olivia asked. It means she's trying to imply I recycled a ring meant for her, which is partially true. The ring was designed for a potential engagement, but it was never specifically for Victoria. She's twisting facts to create doubt. Can't you just deny it and give her more attention? No, we ignore it. Let her look petty. But over the next few hours, Victoria's post gained traction. Thousands of shares, speculation building, and then late afternoon, another development. Maria knocked on Olivia's door, her face worried. "Mrs. Moretti, there's someone here to see you. She says she's your sister." Jenny, Olivia's heart lurched. She hadn't expected this. "Where is she?" "Front entrance. Mr. Moretti said to tell you." But Olivia was already moving, practically running through the corridors. She reached the entrance hall, and there was Jenny, 23 years old, eyes wide as she took in the mansion. "Liv," Jenny's voice cracked. "What the hell is going on?" They stood staring at each other across the marble floor. Jenny looked exhausted, probably drove straight from college, 3 hours without stopping. "Let's talk," Olivia said quietly. "Somewhere private." She led Jenny to a sitting room, closed the door, and waited. "You got married," Jenny said, her voice rising, "to a billionaire I've never heard you mention, 2 days after being accused of embezzlement, and I had to find out from the news. I called you. I told you. You told me nothing. You said you got married to someone who could help with Mom's treatments. You didn't say it was Luca Moretti. You didn't say you barely know him. You didn't say—" Jenny's voice broke. "Liv, are you in trouble? Is he forcing you to do this?" "No, I made a choice." "What kind of choice? Because from where I'm standing, this looks like desperation, not love." Olivia sank onto the couch. She wanted to tell Jenny everything, the deal, the contract, the 2-year timeline. But Luca's warning echoed in her mind, break the illusion, break the contract. "It's complicated," she said carefully. "Complicated how either you love him or you don't." Olivia hesitated, the lie stuck in her throat. "Jenny, I need you to trust me. I know this looks strange. I know it happened fast, but I'm safe. I'm handling it. And Mom's getting the best care possible now. Isn't that what matters? What matters is that my sister is lying to me." Jenny's eyes filled with tears. "You think I can't tell I've known you my whole life, Liv? I know when you're hiding something. So tell me the truth, please." The door opened before Olivia could answer. Luca stood in the doorway, his expression unreadable. "Jennifer," he said, "I'm Luca. We should talk." Jenny stood, her posture defensive. "About what? About how you swooped in and married my sister when she was at her most vulnerable. About how your sister made an informed choice that benefits everyone, including you." Luca stepped into the room, closing the door behind him. "Your tuition at Northwestern, it's paid through graduation. Your mother's treatment's fully covered, including experimental protocols not usually approved by insurance. Your sister cleared of false charges and protected from anyone who might try to harm her reputation. These aren't accidents, Jennifer. They're the result of decisions your sister made. Decisions you manipulated her into making. Decisions I offered her the option to make. There's a difference." Luca's voice was calm, but something dangerous lurked beneath. "Your sister could have chosen to fight the embezzlement case alone. She could have watched your mother decline without proper treatment. She could have let you drop out of school to help with expenses. Instead, she chose to accept my help. Do you really want to question that?" Jenny looked at Olivia. "Is this true? You did this for us?" Olivia nodded, not trusting her voice. "Then you're both insane," Jenny said, but her anger was fading into something that looked like fear. "Liv, you can't sacrifice yourself for us. That's not how this works." "It's already done," Olivia said softly, "and I'm okay, I promise." Jenny wiped her eyes. "For how long? How long do you have to stay in this marriage?" Luca answered before Olivia could. "As long as we both choose to. This isn't a prison sentence, Jennifer. It's a partnership. Your sister is free to leave whenever she wants." Another lie. But Jenny seemed to accept it, or at least pretended to. "I want to see Mom," Jenny said finally, "before I go back to school. Can I do that?" Of course," Luca said. "I'll have my driver take you to the hospital. And Jennifer, your sister is braver than you're giving her credit for. Don't make her choices harder by questioning them." After Jenny left, Olivia and Luca stood in silence. "Thank you," Olivia said quietly, "for backing up my story. It's not just your story, it's our story. We both need it to hold." Luca moved to the window, looking out at the grounds. "Your sister is perceptive. That could be a problem. She'll keep quiet. She won't risk Mom's treatments. People do surprising things when they think they're protecting someone they love." Luca turned back to her. "We need to be more convincing, more consistent. starting tonight. What's tonight? Dinner with my father. He wants to meet you. Olivia's stomach dropped. Your father, the one who's dying. The one who wanted to see me married before he goes. Yes. Luca's expression was carefully neutral. He's at the family estate. We're expected at 7. Maria will help you prepare. Vincent Moretti's estate made Luca's house look modest. Stone and history perched on acres of manicured gardens. Old money, old power. The kind of place that had seen generations of deals and betrayals. An elderly woman in a nurse's uniform met them at the door. He's having a good day, she said to Luca. Alert, minimal pain. But don't tire him out. I know the drill, Margaret. Thank you. They were led through corridors lined with oil paintings, ancestors staring down with judging eyes. Olivia felt like an imposter walking through a museum. Vincent Moretti was in a library, seated in a leather chair by the fireplace. Even sick, even diminished by cancer, he radiated authority. His eyes, the same gray as Luca's, tracked Olivia as she entered. So this is the girl who caught my son, he said, his voice rough but strong. Come closer. Let me see you properly. Olivia approached, feeling like she was being evaluated for purchase. Beautiful, Vincent said. But beauty is common. Luca could have married any beautiful woman. What makes you different? The question hung in the air. Luca's hand found the small of Olivia's back, a reminder to play the role. I don't know if I am different, Olivia said honestly. Your son seems to think so. Vincent's laugh turned into a cough. Margaret moved forward with water, but he waved her away. Honesty, that's rare in my world. Most people tell me what they think I want to hear. He studied her with those sharp eyes. My son told me you were falsely accused of a crime, that he helped clear your name. Yes, sir. And you fell in love with him for it. The question was a trap. Olivia could feel it. Say yes, and she sounded opportunistic. Say no, and the whole story fell apart. I fell in love with him because he saw me when everyone else just saw a criminal, she said carefully. He believed in my innocence when no one else did. That's not something you forget. Vincent nodded slowly. My son is not an easy man to love. He's cold, calculating. He sees people as assets or liabilities. Has he told you this? Father, Luca's voice held a warning. I'm dying. I can say what I want. Vincent's eyes never left Olivia. I'm asking if you know who you married. I know he's complicated, Olivia said. I know he doesn't show emotion easily. I know he thinks in terms of logic and strategy. But I also know he's capable of kindness, of protection, of keeping his word. And that's enough for you, a man who protects you but doesn't love you. The question hit like a physical blow. Olivia's breath caught. Who says he doesn't love me? She managed. Vincent's smile was sad. My son has loved exactly 3 things in his life. His mother before she died, his business, and power. Everything else is transactional, including you, I suspect. That's enough, Luca said sharply. Olivia didn't come here to be interrogated. No, she came here to meet the dying old man who wanted to see his son married. Mission accomplished. Vincent's expression softened slightly. I'm not trying to hurt you, girl. I'm trying to protect you. My son gets what he wants always. Make sure you know what you want too. The rest of the dinner was strained. Vincent asked questions about their courtship, and they answered with practiced lies. How they met, when Luca proposed, what Olivia loved most about him. Each answer felt like walking through a minefield. When they finally left, Olivia's hands were shaking. In the car, Luca was silent. Olivia stared out the window, Vincent's words replaying in her mind. He knows, she said finally. Your father knows this isn't real. He suspects. He can't prove it. Does it matter he's dying? Why keep lying to him? Luca's jaw tightened. Because he wants to die believing I'm capable of love. And I'm going to give him that comfort even if it's not true. Is it not true? The question slipped out before Olivia could stop it. Are you really incapable of love? Luca was quiet for a long time. When he finally spoke, his voice was softer than she'd ever heard it. I loved my mother. She died when I was 12, cancer like my father. I loved her so much that when she was gone, I couldn't breathe for months. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. I was drowning in it, and my father, he saw that weakness and taught me to eliminate it. Love makes you vulnerable, he said. Love gets you killed. So I learned. I learned to care about things I could control. Business, power, results. Everything else is liability. That's the saddest thing I've ever heard. It's survival. It's how you win. Is that what you're doing with me winning? Luca looked at her, and for a moment, something human flickered in his eyes. I don't know yet, he said honestly. They arrived home to find chaos, police cars in the driveway, officers standing at the entrance, Maria wringing her hands by the door. Mr. Moretti, thank God, they just arrived. They're saying... A detective stepped forward, not Raymond Chen this time, but a woman with tired eyes and a badge that read Detective Lisa Torres. Mr. Moretti, Mrs. Moretti, we need to ask you some questions about Richard Castellano. Olivia's heart stopped. What about him? He's dead, found in his apartment 2 hours ago, single gunshot wound to the head, and your husband's name was the last call in his phone log. Luca's expression didn't change. Not a flicker of surprise, not a hint of concern. He looked at Detective Torres like she'd just announced the weather. I spoke with Richard this afternoon, he said calmly. Around 3 o'clock, he called to thank me for helping him relocate. The conversation lasted approximately 4 minutes. Relocate where? Seattle. He accepted a position with one of my subsidiary companies. I was helping him make a fresh start. Torres pulled out a notepad. And what time did you say this call occurred? 3:14 to be precise. Check the phone records. We will. And where were you between 5 and 7 this evening? With my wife and my father, Vincent Moretti, at his estate. We had dinner. His nurse can confirm our arrival and departure times. Torres turned to Olivia. Mrs. Moretti, can you verify this? Olivia's mouth was dry. Yes, we were there from around 7 until just before 9. And before that, we were at home, getting ready. Anyone else see you? Maria, the household manager, and the driver who took us. Torres wrote something down. Mr. Moretti, did Richard mention anything unusual during your call? Anyone threatening him? Any reason to be concerned for his safety? No, he sounded optimistic about the move, grateful for the opportunity. And yet 6 hours later, he's dead. Torres closed her notepad. Convenient timing, wouldn't you say, right after he supposedly confessed to embezzlement that cleared your wife's name? Luca's eyes went cold. Detective, are you implying something? I'm observing facts. Richard Castellano was the key witness in a case that could have destroyed your wife. Now he's dead, and the only evidence against her dies with him. The evidence clear to her before Richard died, Luca said. His confession was documented, recorded, filed with the district attorney's office this morning. His death changes nothing legally. Except he can't recant, can't claim he was coerced into confessing. Torres looked between them. I'll be in touch. Don't leave the city. The moment the police left, Olivia rounded on Luca. Did you kill him? No. Did you have someone kill him? No. Then who? I don't know. Luca pulled out his phone, already dialing. But I'm going to find out. Go to your room. Don't talk to anyone. Don't answer any calls. I need to handle this. Handle this. A man is dead. A man who destroyed your life is dead. Forgive me if I don't mourn. Luca's voice was ice. Now go. I have calls to make. Olivia didn't move. You told me you protect what's yours. Is this how you protect? By eliminating threats? Luca stepped on, his voice dropping to something dangerous. If I wanted Richard dead, he would have disappeared without a trace. No body, no investigation, no complications. This is sloppy, amateur, which means someone else wanted him dead and wanted it to look like I did it. Who would do that? Someone who benefits from me looking like a murderer. Someone who wants to destroy my reputation and our marriage in one move. He pulled up something on his phone and showed her. Look, it was a social media post from Victoria. Posted 20 minutes ago. A screenshot of a news alert about Richard's death with the caption, "How tragic. Though I suppose some people are willing to do anything to protect their secrets. Hashtag Moretti mystery. Hashtag justice." She's already spinning this, Luca said, making it look like I had Richard killed to silence him. By tomorrow, the story will be everywhere. Can you prove you didn't do it? I can prove where I was when he died, but that doesn't prove I didn't order it. Luca's jaw tightened. This is a chess move. Someone's trying to corner me and using you as the leverage. Before Olivia could respond, his phone rang. He answered immediately. Talk. A pause. When? Another pause. I'll be there in 20 minutes. He ended the call and grabbed his jacket. I have to go out. Stay here. Don't open the door for anyone except Maria. Where are you going? To see someone who might have answers. Lock your door. I mean it. He was gone before she could argue. Olivia stood in the empty hallway, her mind racing. Richard was dead, murdered. And whether Luca did it or not, the optics were devastating. A man who'd accused her of embezzlement, who'd supposedly confessed to framing her dead, hours after that confession became public. Her phone buzzed. Jenny. Liv, are you watching the news? I know, the police were just here. They think Luca did it. They're saying, Jenny's voice cracked. Liv, what if he did? What if you married someone who kills people? He didn't do it. How do you know? Because a man who kills people wouldn't be this sloppy, because everything Luca did was calculated, precise, controlled. This was chaos. This was someone else's move. I just know, Olivia said, trust me. I don't trust him, and I'm starting to think you shouldn't either. After hanging up, Olivia paced her room. She couldn't just sit here. Couldn't wait for Luca to handle everything while she played the helpless wife. She needed answers. Real answers. And she knew exactly where to start. Maria found her 20 minutes later dressed in dark jeans and a black sweater. Mrs. Moretti, where are you going? Out, I need some air. Mr. Moretti said you should stay here. Mr. Moretti isn't my keeper. Olivia grabbed her purse. I'll be back in a few hours. If he asks, tell him I went for a drive. She took one of the cars from the garage, a sleek sedan that probably cost more than she used to make in a year. The address she needed was already programmed in her phone. Victoria Cross's penthouse downtown. If anyone knew who was trying to destroy Luca, it would be the woman who wanted to marry him herself. The building's doorman tried to stop her. I'm sorry, Miss Cross isn't accepting visitors. Tell her Olivia Moretti is here. Tell her I'm alone. Tell her she has 5 minutes to see me or I'm going to the press with my own version of tonight's events. The doorman made a call. 2 minutes later, Olivia was in the elevator heading to the top floor. Victoria answered the door in a silk robe, a glass of wine in hand, looking entirely unsurprised. Mrs. Moretti, how unexpected. Or is it? She stepped aside. Come in, let's chat. The penthouse was all white and chrome, expensive and cold. Victoria settled on a white couch and gestured for Olivia to sit. Wine? No, I want answers. How refreshing. Most people dance around what they really want. You just demand it. Victoria sipped her wine. What makes you think I have answers? You posted about Richard's death 20 minutes after it happened, before most media outlets even had the story. How did you know so fast? I have excellent sources. Or you knew it was going to happen. Victoria's smile widened. Are you accusing me of murder? How thrilling. Did you kill him? Personally, no. I don't get my hands dirty. That's what people like your husband are for. Luca didn't kill him either. So certain. So naive. Victoria set down her wine glass. Let me tell you something about Luca Moretti. He's a survivor. He does whatever it takes to win. And right now, Richard Castellano alive was a liability. Dead, he's a closed case. Luca's smart enough to see that. If he wanted Richard dead, he would have done it quietly. Not like this. This is meant to look like Luca did it, which means someone's framing him. Or maybe that's what he wants you to think. Victoria leaned forward. Tell me, Olivia, what do you really know about your husband? His business dealings? His associates? The things he does when you're not watching? More than you think. I doubt that, but let's say you're right. Let's say someone is framing Luca. Who benefits? You do. You wanted to marry him. You're angry he chose me instead. Victoria laughed. Oh, sweetheart, I don't want Luca anymore. I want to destroy him. There's a difference. The admission hung in the air like poison. Why, Basillon? Olivia asked. Because he humiliated me. We had an agreement, our families, our businesses, a merger that would have made both of us untouchable. And then he met you, and suddenly all those plans meant nothing. He threw away years of negotiation for a nobody with an embezzlement charge. Do you know how that made me look weak? Disposable. I don't forgive that. So you're trying to make him look like a murderer. I'm simply helping the truth come to light. If Luca wanted Richard dead, and I believe he did, then he should face consequences. If he didn't, well, the investigation will clear him. Either way, his reputation is damaged. Your marriage looks suspicious. Everything he built starts to crumble. And if I told the police you just confessed to framing him, you won't, because you have no proof. And because the moment you make this public, I release something much more damaging. Victoria pulled out her phone and showed Olivia a video. It was security footage. Luca meeting with someone in a parking garage, money exchanging hands, then the other person driving away. That's from 2 days ago, Victoria said. The man Luca is paying, his name is Marcus Webb, professional fixer, specializes in making problems disappear. And guess whose apartment building Marcus was seen entering this evening? Richard Castellanos. Olivia's stomach dropped. That doesn't prove anything. It proves Luca hired a man who was seen at Richard's building the night of his murder. That's called evidence, and I have copies in 3 different locations. Insurance in case anything happens to me. You're lying. Am I? Ask your husband about Marcus Webb. See what he says. Victoria's smile was poisonous. You came here for answers, Olivia. Now you have them. The question is, what are you going to do with them? Olivia stood, her hands shaking. If you're lying about this, then prove it. Investigate your husband. See what you find. But I think you'll discover that the man you married is much more dangerous than you ever imagined. The drive back was a blur. Olivia's mind raced. Marcus Webb, a fixer, at Richard's building. It didn't make sense. If Luca wanted Richard dead, why would he do it so obviously? Why would he hire someone who could be traced unless he didn't hire Marcus to kill Richard? Unless Marcus was there for something else. Or unless Victoria was lying about everything. Back at the house, Luca's car was in the garage. Olivia found him in his office, still on the phone. I don't care what it costs. Find out who killed Richard and bring me proof. He saw Olivia and his expression darkened. I'll call you back. He hung up and stood. Where the hell were you? I went to see Victoria. You did what? I needed answers, and she gave me some. Olivia pulled out her phone, showing him the screenshot she'd taken of Victoria's video. Who's Marcus Webb? Luca's face went blank. Where did you get that? Victoria showed me. She says Marcus is a fixer, that you paid him 2 days ago, that he was at Richard's building tonight. She's going to give this to the police unless I do what? Disappear, confess to a murder I didn't commit. Luca's voice was cold fury. Victoria is playing you. Can't you see that? Then tell me the truth. Who is Marcus Webb? Luca was quiet for a long moment. When he spoke, his voice was carefully controlled. Marcus Webb works for me, has for 5 years. He handles sensitive situations, corporate espionage, background checks, asset recovery, things that need to be done quietly. What was he doing at Richard's building? I sent him to deliver Richard's relocation package. Plane ticket advance on his salary apartment key in Seattle. He dropped it off around 6 and left. Richard was alive when Marcus walked out. I have Marcus's statement confirming that. Victoria says she has video of Marcus entering the building. I'm sure she does. What she doesn't have is video of him killing anyone, because he didn't. Luca pulled up something on his computer. Marcus's GPS from tonight. See, he arrived at Richard's building at 6:07, left at 6:23. Richard wasn't found dead until 7:15. Coroner puts time of death between 6:45 and 7. Marcus has a receipt from a gas station 15 miles away at 6:32. He couldn't have done it. Then who did? Someone who knew Marcus would be there. Someone who timed the murder to frame both Marcus and me. Someone who's been planning this. Victoria. Possibly, or someone working with her. Luca closed the computer. I told you not to go out. I told you to stay here where it's safe. Instead, you walked right into her trap. I was trying to help. You were trying to play detective, and you nearly got us both killed. Victoria now knows you're investigating. She knows you doubt me. She'll use that. She'll twist it. Maybe I should doubt you. The words burst out. Maybe everyone's right to be suspicious. You won't tell me the whole truth. You have fixers and secret meetings and people who owe you favors. How am I supposed to trust any of this? Luca's expression went cold. You trust it because you have no choice. You signed a contract. You took my money. You accepted my protection. You don't get to question the methods now. I'm not an asset you purchased. Aren't you? His voice was quiet, deadly. That's exactly what you are. I bought your freedom, your mother's health, your sister's future. You sold me 2 years of your life. This is a transaction, Olivia. Don't pretend it's something more. The words hit like a slap. Olivia felt tears prick her eyes and blinked them back furiously. Fine, she said quietly. If that's all this is, then stop pretending you care what I think. Stop pretending my opinion matters. Just tell me what to do and I'll do it. That's what assets do, right? She turned to leave, but Luca's hand caught her wrist. Wait, let go of me. Olivia, his grip loosened but didn't release. I didn't mean it like that. Yes, you did, and you're right. This is a transaction. I'll play my part, but don't expect me to pretend I'm anything more than a purchased wife. She pulled free and walked out, not looking back. In her room, Olivia locked the door and finally let the tears fall. Everything was crumbling. Richard was dead. Victoria was circling like a vulture. The police suspected Luca, and Luca himself kept proving he saw her as nothing more than a business arrangement. Her phone rang. Unknown number. Hello, Mrs. Moretti, a woman's voice unfamiliar. We should meet. Who is this? Someone who can help you. Someone who knows what really happened to Richard Castellano. Tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock. The coffee shop on 5th and Main. Come alone. Wait, I need... The line went dead. Olivia stared at her phone. This could be a trap. Could be Victoria playing more games. Could be anything. But it was also the first lead she'd had that didn't come from Luca or his enemies. She set an alarm for 8 a.m. Tomorrow she'd go to that meeting. Tomorrow she'd get real answers. She didn't sleep. Around 3 a.m., she heard footsteps in the hallway outside her door. They stopped. She held her breath wondering if Luca would knock, but after a moment the footsteps retreated. At dawn, Maria brought coffee and found Olivia already dressed. You're up early, Mrs. Moretti. I have an errand. I'll need the car around 9:30. Mr. Moretti said, I don't care what Mr. Moretti said. I'm going out. Maria studied her for a long moment. Be careful. Whatever you're planning, be careful. The coffee shop was crowded with morning commuters. Olivia ordered a latte and found a corner table her back to the wall so she could see the entrance. At exactly 10 o'clock, a woman walked in. Mid-40s professional attire carrying a leather messenger bag. She scanned the room, spotted Olivia, and approached. Mrs. Moretti, thank you for coming. Who are you? The woman sat down. My name is Rachel Kim. I'm an investigative journalist. I've been following your husband's business dealings for 3 years. Sarah Kim's sister, Olivia guessed, remembering the prosecutor from the gala. Cousin. And yes, she's who pointed me in your direction. Rachel pulled out a folder. I know about Richard Castellano's murder. I know the police suspect your husband, and I know he didn't do it. How? Because I know who did, and I have proof, but I need your help to make it public. Rachel opened the folder. Inside were photographs, documents, bank statements. Victoria Cross hired the killer, Rachel said. A man named Anton Volkov, Russian national professional assassin, has worked in the U.S. for the past 6 months under a fake identity. Victoria paid him $200,000 3 days ago. The transaction is documented here. Olivia's hands shook as she looked through the evidence. Why are you showing me this? Why not take it to the police? Because Victoria has connections. She's already planting evidence against your husband. By the time I get this to the right people, she'll have spun a counter-narrative. But you're the grieving wife defending her husband. You have credibility. You can give this to the media, to the police with a personal story attached. It'll carry more weight. And what do you get out of this, the story? An exclusive interview with you about everything, the marriage, the embezzlement, the murder. I break the Victoria Cross scandal and you clear your husband's name. Mutually beneficial. It made sense. Too much sense, which made Olivia suspicious. How did you get this evidence? She asked. I have sources inside Victoria's organization. People who are tired of her methods, people who want to see her taken down, or people who want to use me to do it for them. Rachel leaned forward. Mrs. Moretti, you have a choice. Take this evidence, save your husband, expose Victoria, or walk away. Let the police investigation continue. Watch your marriage collapse under suspicion. What's it going to be? Before Olivia could answer, her phone buzzed. A text from Luca. Where are you? Then another, Olivia, answer me. Then a third, I know about Rachel Kim. Don't trust her. Come home now. Olivia looked up at Rachel. How does he know I'm with you? Rachel's expression didn't change. Your husband has people everywhere. Surely you've realized that by now. Who are you really working for? I told you I'm a journalist. Bullshit. Olivia stood. This is another setup. You're working with someone. Victoria, someone else. Sit down, Mrs. Moretti. You're making a scene. Good. Maybe someone will notice. Olivia grabbed the folder. I'm taking this. If it's real, I'll use it. If it's fake, you'll regret trying to manipulate me. She walked out, a folder clutched to her chest, heart pounding. Outside, a black car was waiting. The passenger window rolled down and Luca looked out. Get in. Olivia hesitated, then climbed into the car. How did you find me? She asked. I put a tracker in your phone after the Victoria incident. I told you I protect what's mine. He pulled into traffic. What did Rachel give you? Olivia handed him the folder. He flipped through it while driving, his expression darkening. This is partially real, he said finally. The bank statements, the transaction records, those are legitimate. Victoria did pay someone $200,000, but Anton Volkov isn't the killer. He's a fabrication, a convenient scapegoat that leads nowhere. How do you know? Because Anton Volkov has been dead for 6 months, killed in Moscow. Rachel used a real name with a fake identity. Anyone who investigates will hit a dead end. So it's another trap. It's a distraction. While we chase a ghost, the real killer disappears, and Rachel gets her story about the chaos surrounding us. Luca tossed the folder onto the dashboard. I told you to stay home. I told you not to trust anyone. Why don't you listen? Because staying home and trusting only you hasn't gotten me any answers. It's kept you alive. Do you understand what's happening? This isn't just about Richard's murder. This is about destroying everything I've built, my business, my reputation, my family, and you keep walking into situations that make it worse. Then tell me the truth, all of it. Stop treating me like a chess piece you can move around and actually trust me with information. Luca pulled the car over abruptly. They were in an empty parking lot. He turned to face her, and his expression was raw in a way she'd never seen. You want the truth, fine. Richard Castellano wasn't just embezzling from Meridian Financial. He was laundering money for a criminal organization run by Anton Sokolov. Yes, a real person, not the fabricated Volkov. Sokolov has been trying to move into my territory for years. Richard was his inside man. When Richard got caught, he became a liability to Sokolov. So Sokolov had him killed and made it look like I did it. That's the truth. Then why not tell the police? Because Anton Sokolov is connected to people who make Victoria Cross look like an amateur. Going after him means war. It means putting you, your family, everyone I care about in the crosshairs. So instead, I'm handling it quietly, making deals, applying pressure, protecting you while you're out playing detective and making yourself a target. The anger in his voice startled her. This wasn't cold calculated, Luca. This was someone who actually cared. You care about me, Olivia said softly. You actually care. Of course I care. You're my wife. On paper. For a transaction. Your words. Luca's jaw clenched. I was angry. I said things I didn't mean. Did you mean them and now you're backtracking? He looked at her for a long moment. Then unexpectedly, he laughed, bitter and exhausted. I don't know, he admitted. I don't know what this is anymore. I married you for practical reasons. I keep telling myself it's just a contract, but then you do something reckless and stupid, and I can't breathe until I know you're safe. So maybe I care. Maybe that's the problem. Olivia's heart hammered. Luca, his phone rang. He answered immediately, his expression shifting. Wenma, a pause. How bad? Another pause. I'm on my way. He ended the call and started the car. What happened? Olivia asked. My father. He collapsed. They're rushing him to the hospital. Luca's voice was tight. He's dying, for real this time. I need to get there. I'm coming with you. You don't have to. I'm coming with you, Azam, Olivia said firmly. You're not doing this alone. The hospital corridors smelled like antiseptic in desperation. Luca walked fast, his hand gripping Olivia's so tightly it hurt. She didn't pull away. Margaret, the nurse, met them outside the ICU. Her eyes were red. "He's stable for now," she said. "But it's bad, Luca. The cancer spread to his lungs. He's on a ventilator. Dr. Morrison says it's a matter of hours, maybe a day if we're lucky." Luca's face was stone. "Can I see him?" "Yes, but he's sedated. He might not know you're there." "He'll know." Olivia started to release Luca's hand, give him privacy, but he held on. "Come with me," he said quietly. "Please." Vincent Moretti looked smaller in the hospital bed. Tubes and wires connected him to machines that beeped steadily. His breathing was labored even with the ventilator. Luca stood at his father's side, still holding Olivia's hand, like it was the only thing keeping him upright. "I'm here," he said to his father. "I brought Olivia. You wanted to see me married, and I am. You can rest now." Vincent's eyes fluttered open, unfocused at first, then finding Luca's face. He tried to speak, but the ventilator prevented it. "Don't talk," Luca said. "Save your energy." But Vincent's hand moved, trembling, reaching for something. Margaret stepped forward with a notepad and pen. Vincent's handwriting was shaky but legible. "Tell her the truth." Luca read it and went pale. "Father, don't," Vincent wrote again more forcefully. "She deserves truth. Stop lying." "What truth?" Olivia asked. "What's he talking about?" Vincent's eyes found hers. He wrote one more sentence, then his hand fell back to the bed, exhausted. Olivia read the words over Luca's shoulder. "He married you to save his life, not mine." The machines beeped. Vincent's eyes closed. Margaret checked his vitals. "He's unconscious again," she said softly. "You should let him rest." Outside the room, Olivia pulled her hand from Luca's. "What did he mean? You married me to save your life." Luca's jaw clenched. "Not here." "Yes, here, right now. What aren't you telling me?" "Olivia, tell me." Luca looked around the corridor, then pulled her into an empty waiting room and closed the door. "Anton Sokolov," he said finally. "The man I told you about, the one who had Richard killed. He's not just trying to move into my territory. He's been trying to kill me for 6 months." Olivia's breath caught. "What?" 3 assassination attempts. The first was a car bomb that killed my driver instead of me. The second was a snipe who missed by inches. The third was poison in my food that I didn't eat because I was in a meeting. Luca's voice was flat, clinical. "Sokolov wants me dead so he can take over my operations. But he's old school Russian Mafia. He has rules. One of them is that you don't kill a man on his wedding day. It's considered bad luck, cursed. So I needed to get married. Fast. To buy myself time to eliminate the threat." The words hit like physical blows. "So this whole thing, the marriage, the protection, everything, it was to save yourself. It was to save both of us. You needed protection from the embezzlement charges. I needed protection from Sokolov. It was mutually beneficial. You lied to me. You said you were helping your father. You said, my father was dying anyway, using his wish as the reason made the marriage look legitimate, made it look like love instead of survival." Luca's voice rose. "Would you have agreed if I'd told you the truth? That marrying me made you a target? That Sokolov would come after you to get to me? I deserved the choice. You made a choice. You chose survival over prison. The reasons don't change that." "The reasons are everything," Olivia's voice cracked. "I thought you were cold but honest. Instead, you're just another liar using me for your own agenda. I protected you. I kept you safe. By putting me in danger in the first place." Olivia backed toward the door. "Victoria was right. This marriage was always about what you needed. I was never anything more than a shield." "That's not true." "Isn't it? Be honest for once in your life, Luca. If Sokolov wasn't a threat, would you have ever looked twice at me?" Luca opened his mouth, then closed it. The silence was answer enough. Olivia's phone rang. She answered without thinking. "Olivia Chen," a man's voice, accented, Russian. "Or should I say Olivia Moretti? We need to talk." Her blood went cold. "Who is this?" "Anton Sokolov. And before you hang up, you should know I'm watching you right now. 4th floor waiting room, St. Mary's Hospital. You're wearing a black sweater. Your husband looks very upset. Good." Olivia's hand shook. Luca saw her expression and grabbed the phone. "Sokolov, if you touch her..." "Relax, Moretti." I'm not going to touch your pretty wife. Not yet, but we need to have a conversation. Tonight, midnight, the old warehouse on Harbor Street. You know the one. I'm not meeting you anywhere. Then your wife's sister dies. Jennifer Chen, 23 years old, currently walking to her dorm room at Northwestern University. My men are 3 steps behind her, say no, and they put 2 bullets in her head. Your choice. The line went dead. Luca's face went white. He immediately made another call. I need security on Jennifer Chen, right now. Northwestern campus. She's being followed. He listened for a moment. I don't care what it costs. Get her somewhere safe. Move. He hung up and looked at Olivia. Call your sister. Tell her to go to the campus security office and wait there. Don't explain, just tell her to do it. Olivia's hands trembled as she dialed. Jenny answered on the 3rd ring. Liv, what's wrong? Jenny, listen to me very carefully. Go to the campus security office right now. Don't ask questions. Don't stop to get anything. Just run there and lock yourself inside. Tell them someone's following you. What, Liv? You're scaring me. Do it, please. Just do it. Okay, I'm running. I'm almost there. Olivia could hear her sister's ragged, breathing footsteps pounding on pavement. Then a door opening. Voices. I'm inside, Jenny gasped. There's security here. Liv, what's happening? Stay there. Don't leave until someone I trust comes to get you. I'll explain later. I love you. She hung up before Jenny could respond. Her legs felt weak. Luca caught her before she could fall. She's safe, he said. My people will reach her in 10 minutes. Sokolov's men won't get near her. He threatened my sister. He threatened to kill Jenny because of you. I know. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Luca's voice was raw. But right now we need to focus. Sokolov wants a meeting. It's a trap, but I have to go. Then take the police. Take your security team. If I show up with backup, he'll know. He'll disappear and come after Jenny another way. I have to go alone. That's suicide. Probably, but it's the only way to end this. Luca released her and stepped back. You should go home. Maria will keep you safe. After tonight, if I don't come back, the divorce papers are in my office safe. Code is your birthday. You would get everything I promised, plus extra for the trouble. Your family will be protected. You're talking like you're already dead. I'm talking like a man who's out of options. Luca's smile was bitter. I should have told you the truth from the beginning. You're right about that. I'm sorry I didn't. He turned to leave. Olivia grabbed his arm. I'm coming with you. Absolutely not. Sokolov wants to hurt you by hurting me. If I'm there, maybe he won't kill you immediately. Maybe we can negotiate. Or maybe he kills us both. I won't risk that. It's not your choice. I'm already at risk. Jenny's at risk. Everyone I care about is at risk because you married me. So if this ends tonight, I'm going to be there. I deserve that much. Luca studied her face. You hate me right now. Why would you risk your life for someone you hate? I don't hate you, Olivia said quietly. I hate that you lied, but I don't hate you, and I'm not letting you die alone. Something shifted in Luca's expression. Softness, regret, maybe even gratitude. Okay, he said finally, but you do exactly what I say. No arguments, no heroics. Understood. Understood. They left the hospital together. In the car, Luca made call after call, arranging things Olivia couldn't follow. Backup plans, exit strategies, contingencies. If things go wrong, he told her, there's a gun in the glove compartment. Take it, run, don't look back. I don't know how to shoot. Point and pull the trigger. It's not complicated. He glanced at her. Olivia, I need you to promise me something. If I tell you to run, you run. You don't stay to help me. You don't try to be brave. You just survive. Promise me. She couldn't promise that, but she nodded anyway. The warehouse was exactly what Olivia expected, abandoned, dark-smelling of rust and decay. A single light burned in the center of the vast space. 2 men stood in the shadows. Luca held Olivia's hand as they walked toward the light. His grip was steady, calm, like he was walking into a boardroom negotiation instead of a death trap. Anton Sokolov stepped into the light. He was older than Olivia expected, maybe 60, with gray hair and cold blue eyes. A scar ran from his left eyebrow to his jaw. Moretti, he said, his accent thick. You brought your wife. How romantic. You threatened to kill her sister. I thought she should hear what you want directly. What I want is simple. Your territory, your operations, everything you built. Sign it over to me and you live. Refuse and everyone you care about dies, starting with the pretty wife. And if I sign everything over, you'll just let me walk away. I'm supposed to believe that. Sokolov smiled. No, you're supposed to know I'll kill you anyway. But at least this way it's quick, painless, a bullet to the head. Much better than what I have planned for your wife if you don't cooperate. Olivia felt ice in her veins. Luca's hand tightened on hers. Here's my counteroffer, Luca said calmly. You leave tonight. You go back to Moscow and never come back. You forget about my territory, my operations, everything. Do that and I let you live. Sokolov laughed. You let me live. You're in my warehouse surrounded by my men with no backup. You have no leverage. Don't I? Luca pulled out his phone with his free hand. 3 days ago, I sent a very detailed file to the FBI. Every transaction you've made in the U.S., every murder you've ordered, every law you've broken. Right now, that file is sitting in a secure server with a timer. If I don't cancel the timer in the next hour, the file automatically sends to every federal agent in the Northeastern District. Your entire operation gets exposed. Sokolov's smile faded. You're bluffing. Am I want to test that theory? Luca held up his phone showing a countdown. 52 minutes. You kill me, the timer runs out. You kill my wife, same result. You let us walk out of here, I cancel the timer, and we both go our separate ways. You back to Russia, me back to my life. Clean break. Why would you let me go? I tried to kill you. Because I'm tired. I'm tired of looking over my shoulder. I'm tired of protecting everyone I care about from threats I can't control. You want my territory, it's not worth dying for. Take it, but leave my family alone. Olivia stared at him. This was the play. Luca was giving up everything he'd built to save her, to save Jenny, to end the war. Sokolov studied Luca for a long moment. You're serious. Completely. I'll sign over the businesses tomorrow. Legal transfer, clean documentation. You get what you want. I get peace. Everyone wins. And if I agree, how do I know you won't send that file anyway? Because unlike you, and I keep my word, I'm offering you a deal. Take it or don't, but decide fast. 49 minutes. The tension was suffocating. Olivia could hear her own heartbeat. Sokolov's men shifted in the shadows waiting for orders. Finally, Sokolov nodded. Deal, but if you break your word, if that file ever surfaces, I'll kill everyone you've ever spoken to. Your wife, her sister, your dying father. Everyone. Understood. Sokolov extended his hand. Luca shook it. The deal was made. Then from the shadows a voice. How touching. Victoria stepped into the light and she wasn't alone. Behind her, armed men fanned out. At least 6 of them. Victoria, Luca said, his voice carefully neutral. This doesn't concern you. Oh, but it does. You see, Anton and I have our own arrangement. He gets your territory, I get your reputation destroyed. But this little peace treaty threatens both our interests. Victoria's smile was venomous. So I'm afraid I can't let you leave. Sokolov's face darkened. You said you wanted Moretti destroyed, not dead. We had an agreement. We had a temporary alliance. Now it's over. Victoria nodded to her men. Kill them both. Make it look like they killed each other. Everything happened at once. Gunfire exploded. Luca grabbed Olivia and threw them both behind a stack of crates. Sokolov's men fired at Victoria's men. Victoria's men fired back. Sokolov himself ran for cover. The gun, Luca shouted. Do you have it? Olivia pulled the weapon from her purse with shaking hands. Luca took it, checked the clip, and fired 3 shots toward Victoria's position. Someone screamed. We need to move, he said. Back exit, now. They ran, staying low. Bullets tore through the air around them. Olivia's ears rang, her lungs burned. They burst through a side door into an alley. Luca's car was 50 feet away. They ran for it. Behind them, footsteps. Olivia glanced back and saw one of Victoria's men, gun raised, taking aim at Luca's back. She didn't think. She grabbed Luca's gun from his hand and fired. The shot went wide, but it made the man duck, losing his aim. Luca spun, took the gun back, and fired twice. The man went down. Get in the car. Luca shoved her toward the passenger side. They peeled out of the alley tires screaming. More gunfire followed them, but they were moving too fast. Within seconds, they were on the main road speeding towards safety. Olivia's hands wouldn't stop shaking. Adrenaline coursed through her veins. She'd almost died. She'd fired a gun at someone. This was insane. "Are you hurt?" Luca asked, his voice tight. "No, are you us?" "No," he made a sharp turn. "That was incredible back there. You saved my life." "I missed." "You made him miss. Same result." Luca's phone rang. He answered on speaker. "Talk. It's Marcus. I've got 8 men converging on the warehouse. What's your status?" "We're out. Let them handle Victoria and Sokolov. I want both of them alive if possible. I have questions." "Copy that." Luca hung up and glanced at Olivia. "You did good tonight. Really good. I thought you were going to give up everything. Your businesses, your territory. You were really going to do it. For you, yes. For Jenny, yes. For peace, absolutely." He turned onto their street. "I meant what I said. I'm tired of this war. If ending it means losing everything I built, so be it. But Victoria ruined the deal. Victoria made a mistake. She showed her hand. Now I know she's working with Sokolov, which means I can destroy them both. This isn't over." Back at the house, Maria met them at the door, her face pale. "Thank God you're safe. Jennifer is here. I had her brought from the university. She's in the guest room." "Thank you, Maria." Luca turned to Olivia. "Go see your sister. Make sure she's okay. I have calls to make." Olivia found Jenny pacing in the guest room. The moment she saw Olivia, she burst into tears. "What the hell is happening? Men with guns showed up and said they worked for Luca. They said I was in danger. They drove me here without explaining anything." "Liv, I'm terrified." Olivia pulled her sister into a hug. "You're safe now, I promise. But I need to tell you the truth about everything." Over the next hour, Olivia explained it all. The marriage contract, Luca's enemies, the attempts on his life, Sokolov's threat, tonight's confrontation. Everything except the fact that it was supposed to end in 2 years. That secret she kept. Jenny listened, her eyes growing wider with each revelation. "So you married him to save yourself from prison, and he married you to save himself from assassination. That's the most insane thing I've ever heard." "I know. And you're telling me you don't actually love each other. This is all business." Olivia hesitated. "It started as business. Now I don't know what it is." "Do you love him?" The question hung in the air. Olivia thought about Luca offering to give up everything for her safety, thought about him holding her hand in the hospital, thought about the rawness in his voice when he admitted he cared. "I don't know," she said honestly. "Maybe. Or maybe I'm just confusing gratitude with love. Well, for what it's worth, he looked at you tonight like you were the only thing keeping him alive. I saw him when his security brought me in. He was on the phone, and I heard him say your name. He sounded destroyed, Liv. Like losing you would end him." Before Olivia could respond, her phone buzzed. A text from Luca. "My office now, it's important." She found him standing at his desk, his face grim. On his computer screen was security footage from the warehouse. "Look," he said, turning the screen toward her. The footage showed Victoria and Sokolov after Olivia and Luca had fled. They were arguing. Victoria pulled a gun and shot Sokolov twice in the chest. He fell. Victoria's men dragged his body away. "She killed him," Olivia breathed. "She killed her own ally, which means she's cleaning house, eliminating anyone who can connect her to tonight." Luca played another clip. This is from 30 minutes ago. It showed Victoria entering a black SUV. The timestamp was recent. "Where's she going?" Olivia asked. "I don't know yet, but Marcus is tracking her. We'll find out." Luca closed the laptop. "Olivia, I need to ask you something. After tonight, after everything you've learned, do you want out of this marriage? I can arrange it. Clean divorce, full payment, protection for you and Jenny. You'd be free." The question surprised her. "You're offering to let me go. I'm offering you a choice. The choice you should have had from the beginning." His eyes met hers. "I lied to you about why I needed to marry you. I put you in danger. I used you as a shield. You have every right to walk away. So I'm asking, do you want to?" Olivia looked at this man who was offering her freedom. This man who'd saved her from prison, protected her family, and risked his life to keep her safe. This man who was cold and calculating and ruthless, and somehow, despite all of it, made her feel seen. I don't know, she said honestly. I don't know if I want to leave or stay. I don't know if I trust you or hate you. I don't know what I feel anymore. That's fair. Luca's voice was soft. Take time. Think about it. Whatever you decide, I'll respect it. His phone rang. He answered, listened, and his expression changed. Where? A pause. How many? Another pause. I'm on my way. He hung up and looked at Olivia. Victoria just walked into the federal building. She's turning herself in, claims she has evidence of my criminal activities. Evidence that will put me in prison for the rest of my life. The words hung in the air like a death sentence. Victoria had evidence. Evidence that could destroy Luca. Evidence she was handing to federal prosecutors right now. What kind of evidence? Olivia asked. I don't know yet, but if she's turning herself in, it means she's making a deal. Her testimony in exchange for immunity. She'll give them everything she has on me to save herself. Luca was already moving, grabbing his jacket, his keys. I need to get to my attorney. We need to prepare a defense before... His phone rang again. He looked at the screen and his face went white. It's the FBI, he answered. Luca Moretti speaking. He listened, his expression growing harder with each second. I understand. Yes, I'll cooperate fully. Tomorrow morning at 9. I'll have my attorney present. He hung up and looked at Olivia. They want me for questioning tomorrow. They're building a case. What kind of case? Racketeering, money laundering, conspiracy to commit murder. Everything Victoria can throw at me. Luca sank into his chair. She's been collecting evidence for months, since before we got married. This was always her endgame. Then we fight it. We prove she's lying. Some of it isn't lies, that's the problem. Luca's voice was hollow. My businesses aren't all legitimate. I've made deals with dangerous people. I've done things that, legally speaking, could be considered criminal. Victoria knows this because she was part of it. We worked together for years before everything fell apart. She has documentation, recordings, witnesses, real evidence mixed with fabrications. By the time we untangle truth from lies, I'll be in prison. No, Olivia's voice was firm. We're not giving up. There has to be a way. There isn't. Victoria played this perfectly. She kills Sokolov, eliminating her co-conspirator. She turns herself in before I can expose her, making herself look like the hero. She gives the FBI enough real evidence that they can't ignore it, mixed with lies that make me look like a monster. It's checkmate. Olivia's mind raced. There had to be something. Some angle Victoria hadn't considered. The warehouse footage, she said suddenly. The video of Victoria killing Sokolov. That proves she's a murderer. That destroys her credibility. She'll say it was self-defense, that Sokolov threatened her. Without audio, we can't prove otherwise. Luca shook his head. She thought of everything. Then we make her confess. We record her admitting what she did. She won't talk to me, and she definitely won't confess on tape. She'll talk to me. Olivia pulled out her phone. She thinks I'm just the powerless wife. She thinks I'm a victim you manipulated. I can use that. I can get close to her. Absolutely not. It's too dangerous. More dangerous than you going to prison. More dangerous than Victoria winning. Olivia met his eyes. You said I could choose. Well, I'm choosing to fight. I'm choosing to help you. Let me do this. Luca stared at her for a long moment. If she suspects anything, if she thinks you're recording her, she won't, because I'm going to tell her the truth, that I'm scared, that I don't know if I can trust you, that I need to understand what's really happening. She'll believe that because it's half true. What's the other half? Olivia took a breath. The other half is that despite everything, despite the lies and the danger and the chaos, I'm not walking away from you. Not yet. Not while there's still a chance to fix this. Something shifted in Luca's expression. Hope. Fragile and uncertain, but real. Okay, he said quietly. But you wear a wire and Marcus will be close by. Any sign of trouble, you get out. Understood? Understood. 2 hours later, Olivia stood outside the federal building. It was nearly midnight. Victoria would be finishing her statement, preparing to leave. Olivia had texted her 20 minutes ago. I need to talk. Please, it's important. Victoria's response had been immediate. Meet me at the Grandview Hotel bar, 11:30. Come alone. The same hotel where this nightmare had started. Full circle. Marcus had fitted Olivia with a wire so small she couldn't even feel it. He was positioned in a car across the street, monitoring everything. Remember, Luca had said before she left, get her talking about her deal with Sokolov. Get her to admit she killed him. Get her to explain why she's framing me. Any of those things, and we have ammunition. Now walking into the hotel bar, Olivia felt her heart hammering. Victoria sat at a corner table looking relaxed and satisfied, a glass of champagne in front of her. Olivia, she said smiling, you came. I wasn't sure you would. I need answers, real answers. Olivia sat down across from her. Did Luca really do everything you told the FBI? Is he really a criminal? Oh, sweetheart, you're still trying to believe in him. How tragic. Victoria sipped her champagne. Yes, he did most of it. The money laundering is real. The ties to organized crime are real. The illegal business deals are real. I know because I helped him build half of it. Then why turn him in now? Why not before? Because before I thought I could control him. I thought we'd get married, merge our empires, rule this city together. But he chose you instead. He threw away everything we built for a nobody. That's when I realized if I can't have him, no one can. Olivia felt sick. So this is just revenge. You're destroying his life because he rejected you. I'm destroying his life because he deserves it. He used me. He used you. He uses everyone. It's time someone made him pay. And Sokolov, did Luca really work with him? Victoria's smile widened. Sokolov was my ace in the hole. Luca had been fighting him for months, trying to keep him out of the city. I convinced Sokolov to escalate, made him think killing Luca was his only option. That's why the assassination attempts got so aggressive. You orchestrated those attempts. I facilitated them. Sokolov did the actual planning. But yes, I wanted Luca dead or desperate enough to make mistakes. Your marriage was one of those mistakes. It gave me the perfect angle, the cold billionaire who married an accused criminal to save himself. It made him look weak. Olivia forced herself to stay calm. And then you killed Sokolov. Why? Victoria's expression flickered. Careful, she was being careful. I didn't kill Sokolov. He died in the crossfire at the warehouse. Tragic, really. He was useful. That's not what the security footage shows. Victoria's smile froze. What footage? The cameras at the warehouse. They caught everything, including you shooting Sokolov twice in the chest after Luca and I left. For the first time, Victoria looked uncertain. You're bluffing. Am I? Luca has the footage. He's probably showing it to his attorneys right now. By morning, the FBI will know you're a murderer. All your testimony, your evidence against Luca, it becomes worthless when you're the one facing murder charges. Victoria's hand tightened on her champagne glass. It was self-defense. Sokolov attacked me. I had no choice. Then why didn't you tell the FBI that when you turned yourself in? Why lie about it? I didn't lie, I just didn't mention it yet. I was planning to. You were planning to pin it on Luca. Blame him for another murder. But the footage proves you did it. You can't talk your way out of this. Victoria stood abruptly. This conversation is over. Sit down. Olivia's voice was steel. We're not done. Yes, we are. You think you're so clever coming here with your wire trying to get me to confess on tape. Did you really think I wouldn't check? Victoria pulled a small device from her purse. Signal jammer. Your wire's been dead since you walked in. Luca's not hearing any of this. Olivia's blood went cold. The wire was dead. Marcus couldn't hear her. She was alone. Now, Victoria said, her voice dropping to something dangerous. Let's talk about what happens next. You're going to go home to your husband and tell him to accept the FBI's case. He's going to plead guilty to the charges. If he does that, I'll make sure the evidence against him is minimal. 5 years instead of 20. And you'll divorce him quietly and disappear. And if I refuse, then I release the other evidence, the really damaging stuff, the things that implicate not just Luca, but everyone he's ever worked with, including the hospitals treating your mother. Turns out some of Luca's money laundering went through medical facilities. Your mother's treatments paid for with illegal funds. She becomes part of the investigation. So does your sister. Everyone you love gets dragged into this. Olivia felt tears prick her eyes. You're a monster. I'm a survivor. Just like you. The difference is I'm better at it. Victoria leaned close. You have 24 hours. Convince Luca to take the deal, or I destroy everyone. Choose wisely. She walked out, leaving Olivia alone in the bar. Olivia sat there for a long moment, shaking. Then she pulled out her phone and called Luca. How did it go? He asked immediately. She knew about the wire. She jammed it. But Luca, she threatened my mother. She threatened Jenny. She said if you don't plead guilty, she'll implicate them in your crimes. Silence. Then, come home. We need to talk. Back at the house, Luca was waiting in his office. His face was drawn, exhausted. She's not bluffing, he said. I just heard from my attorney. The FBI is already looking into the hospitals that treated your mother. They're building a case that I used medical facilities for money laundering. If they pursue it, your mother could lose her treatments. Jenny could be charged as an accessory if they prove she knew where her tuition money came from. She didn't know, I didn't know. It doesn't matter. Victoria will make it look like you all knew. She'll fabricate evidence just like she did with everything else. Lucas sank into his chair. I'm going to take the deal. Plead guilty. 5 years is better than 20, and it keeps your family safe. No, you can't give up. I'm not giving up. I'm protecting you. That's what I should have done from the beginning instead of pulling you into this mess. Stop it. Olivia's voice cracked. Stop acting like you're the villain here. You gave me a choice when I had none. You protected my family. You risked your life for me tonight. You're not the monster Victoria is trying to make you. I lied to you about why I married you. I put you in danger. I'm exactly what she says I am. Then why do I love you? The words were out before Olivia could stop them. They hung in the air, raw and honest and terrifying. Lucas stared at her. I love you. Olivia's voice shook. I don't know when it happened. Maybe when you held my hand at the hospital. Maybe when you offered to give up everything for my safety. Maybe it's been growing this whole time, and I was too scared to admit it. But I love you, and I'm not letting you go to prison for crimes Victoria manipulated you into. Olivia, there has to be another way, some evidence we haven't considered, some angle Victoria missed. Lucas stood and crossed to her. His hands cupped her face, gentle and careful. I love you too, he said quietly. I've been trying not to, trying to keep this transactional, keep you at arm's length. But you're the bravest, strongest, most incredible person I've ever met. And loving you is the only thing in my life that isn't calculated or cold. It's just real. He kissed her, not performative this time, not for show, real and deep and desperate. When they pulled apart, Olivia was crying. We can't give up, please. There has to be something. Luca's phone buzzed. He glanced at it and went very still. What? Olivia asked. It's from Marcus. He says he has something that changes everything. Marcus arrived 15 minutes later carrying a laptop. His expression was grim but determined. I couldn't get the audio from the bar because of Victoria's jammer, he said. But I did get video, silent footage from the hotel security cameras, and I got something else. He opened the laptop and pulled up a file. This is Victoria's phone records from the past 6 months. I had a hacker friend pull them. Look at this. He pointed to a series of calls, all to the same number. Dozens of them. That number belongs to Richard Castellano, Marcus said. Victoria was in contact with Richard constantly, up until the day he died. She was working with him, Olivia breathed. More than that, look at the dates. These calls started 2 weeks before you were accused of embezzlement. Victoria and Richard planned the whole thing together. They framed you to force Luca into marrying you, which gave Victoria ammunition to destroy his reputation later. Luca leaned forward. Can we prove this? Better. I found text messages Richard deleted but that were still on the server. Look. Marcus pulled up a screenshot. A text from Victoria to Richard. Frame the girl. Make it airtight. Luca will have to marry her to save face. That's when we strike. Another text. Once he's married to a criminal, his reputation is damaged. Then we reveal everything and watch him fall. And a final text sent the day before Richard died. You're a liability now. Sokolov will handle it. Don't worry, it'll be quick. She ordered his murder, Olivia whispered. She had Richard killed and blamed it on Luca. And we can prove it, Marcus smiled. Every text, every call, every transaction. It's all here. Victoria wasn't just working with Sokolov, she was running him. She orchestrated everything. Luca grabbed his phone. I'm calling the FBI right now. Wait, Olivia put her hand on his arm. If we give this to the FBI, Victoria will know we have it. She'll run or destroy more evidence. We need to be smart about this. What are you thinking? We use her own plan against her. We make her think she won. Then we expose everything at once in a way she can't refute or escape. Luca's smile was sharp. I'm listening. The plan came together quickly. Luca would call the FBI and agree to come in for questioning. He'd act defeated, broken. He'd hint that he was considering Victoria's deal. Meanwhile, Marcus would compile all the evidence, the texts, the calls, the warehouse footage, everything into a comprehensive file. Then during Luca's FBI interview, his attorney would present the evidence. Not just to the agents questioning Luca, but to the media simultaneously. A coordinated release that would expose Victoria's crimes in real time, giving her no chance to spin a counter-narrative. It's risky, Luca said. If the FBI thinks we're playing games, they could charge me anyway. It's our only shot, Olivia replied, and it's better than 5 years in prison. The next morning, Luca and Olivia arrived at the FBI building together. Agents met them at the entrance, stone-faced and professional. Mr. Moretti, Mrs. Moretti, this way, please. They were led to separate rooms. Olivia was left in a waiting area while Luca went to be questioned. The minutes crawled by. Olivia's phone buzzed. A text from Marcus. File is ready. On your signal. An hour passed, then 2. Olivia was losing her mind. What was happening in there? Was the plan working? Finally, the door opened. Luca's attorney, Patricia Huang, stepped out. Her expression was unreadable. Mrs. Moretti, you should come with me. Olivia followed her down the corridor. They entered a conference room where Luca sat with 3 FBI agents. His face was calm, but his eyes found hers, immediately anchoring her. Mrs. Moretti, one of the agents said, your husband has made some serious allegations against Victoria Cross. Allegations supported by substantial evidence. We need to ask you some questions. Over the next hour, Olivia told them everything. The marriage contract, Sokolov's threats, Victoria's confessions at the hotel bar, the signal jammer, all of it. The agents took notes, asked follow-up questions, and reviewed the evidence Marcus had compiled. The text, the warehouse footage, the phone records. Finally, the lead agent sat back. This is extensive. If everything you're saying is true, Ms. Cross is facing multiple felony charges. Murder, conspiracy, obstruction of justice. We'll need to bring her in immediately. She won't come quietly, Luca said. She'll run. Then we'll issue a warrant and find her. But they didn't need to find her because at that moment, another agent burst into the room. Sir, we have a situation. Victoria Cross just walked into the building. She's demanding to speak with whoever's handling the Moretti case. She says she has new evidence. Luca and Olivia exchanged glances. Victoria was walking right into their trap. Bring her to conference room B, the lead agent said. Don't tell her the Morettis are here. Let's see what she has to say. They watched through a one-way mirror as Victoria was led into the adjacent room. She looked confident, satisfied. She set down a folder on the table. I have additional evidence against Luca Moretti, she told the agents. Financial records showing he's been laundering money through medical facilities, including the hospital treating his mother-in-law. I believe his wife and her family were complicit. That's a serious allegation, Ms. Cross. I have proof. It's all in this folder. Victoria opened it, spreading documents across the table. Once you review these, you'll see that the Moretti family is far more corrupt than you initially thought. The agent picked up one of the documents. Ms. Cross, before we continue, I need to inform you that you're under arrest. Victoria's face went blank. What? Murder of Anton Sokolov, conspiracy to commit murder in the death of Richard Castellano, obstruction of justice. We have evidence of all of it, including text messages showing you ordered Mr. Castellano's death. That's impossible. I deleted those messages. Nothing's ever truly deleted, Ms. Cross. The agent nodded to 2 officers who'd entered the room. Please stand up and place your hands behind your back. Victoria's eyes darted around the room looking for an escape. There was none. This is a mistake, she said, her voice rising. I'm the one who came to you. I'm cooperating. Luca Moretti is the criminal. Mr. Moretti has provided evidence that contradicts your testimony. Evidence that suggests you fabricated much of what you told us. Evidence that you orchestrated multiple crimes and attempted to frame him for them. He's lying. He's manipulating you. Victoria was being handcuffed now, struggling against the officers. I have proof. I have recordings. I have. You have the right to remain silent, the agent began. Victoria's eyes found the one-way mirror. Somehow she knew. She knew Luca and Olivia were watching. This isn't over, she screamed. You think you won. You haven't won anything. I'll destroy you. The officers led her out, still screaming threats. The door closed, cutting off her voice. In the observation room, Olivia let out a breath she didn't know she'd been holding. It's over, she whispered. It's really over. Luca pulled her into his arms. It's over. The lead agent entered the observation room. Mr. and Mrs. Moretti, you're free to go. We'll need you to remain available for testimony when this goes to trial, but you're not under investigation. I apologize for any inconvenience. What about the charges Victoria made the money laundering through the hospital? Olivia asked. We'll investigate, but preliminarily it appears those financial records were fabricated. Ms. Cross went to great lengths to frame you. We'll sort out fact from fiction, but I don't anticipate charges. They left the building together, stepping out into bright afternoon sunlight. Luca's car was waiting. Marcus stood beside it, grinning. I heard, he said, Victoria's in custody. FBI seized all her records. She's done. Thank you, Luca said, shaking his hand, for everything. Just doing my job. Marcus winked at Olivia. Though I have to say, Mrs. Moretti, you've got guts. Walking into that bar knowing the wire might not work, that was brave. Or stupid, Olivia said. Sometimes they're the same thing. In the car driving home, Luca reached over and took Olivia's hand. What happens now, she asked. Now we figure out what we want, really want, not what contracts say or what circumstances forced, what we actually want. I already told you what I want. I want you. I want this marriage to be real. Even knowing everything you know, even after all the lies and danger, especially after all that, because you showed me who you really are. Not the cold businessman, not the calculated strategist, the man underneath all of it, the man who loves his father enough to lie to give him peace, the man who protected me even when it cost him everything. That's who I fell in love with. Luca pulled the car over. Right there on the side of the road, he turned to face her fully. I don't deserve you, he said, but I'm selfish enough to keep you anyway. If you'll have me, really have me, not for 2 years, forever. Is that a proposal? We're already married, so I guess it's a re-proposal, a request to make this real. He pulled the ring off her finger, the diamond she'd been wearing since their wedding. Olivia Chen Moretti, will you stay married to me? Not because of a contract, not because of protection or obligation or anything, except the fact that I love you and I want to spend the rest of my life proving I can be the man you deserve. Tears streamed down Olivia's face. Yes, yes, 1,000 times yes. He slipped the ring back on her finger. This time it didn't feel like a shackle. It felt like a promise. 3 weeks later, Vincent Moretti died peacefully in his sleep. At his bedside were Luca and Olivia holding hands. His last words were to Olivia. Take care of my son, he whispered. He needs you more than he'll ever admit. I will, she promised. I love him. I know. I could see it that first night. You looked at him like he hung the moon, and he looked at you like you were the only thing keeping him on earth. That's real love. Hold on to it. The funeral was small, intimate. Luca delivered a eulogy that made even hardened business associates cry. He talked about his father's strength, his wisdom, his final wish to see his son happy. He got his wish, Luca said, his voice thick with emotion, because of the woman sitting in the front row. Because she chose to love me despite every reason not to. My father died knowing I wasn't alone. That's the greatest gift anyone could have given him. Or me. After the service, standing at the grave, Olivia wrapped her arms around Luca and felt him shake with silent sobs. He loved you so much, she whispered, and he was so proud of you. I know. I just wish I'd told him more often how much he meant to me. He knew, trust me, he knew. A month later, Victoria Cross went to trial. The evidence was overwhelming. Text messages, financial records, warehouse footage. Testimony from Marcus and others. She was convicted on all charges and sentenced to 30 years. On the day of sentencing, she looked across the courtroom at Luca and Olivia sitting side by side. "You think you won," she said, "but you didn't. You're just as broken as I am, just as damaged. This marriage won't last. You'll destroy each other eventually." Luca stood. "Maybe we are broken, maybe we are damaged, but the difference between us and you is that we're healing together. We're building something real. And that terrifies you because you've never had it. You've never had someone look at you and choose you, not for what you can give them, but for who you are. That's what Olivia gave me. That's what I'll spend the rest of my life trying to deserve. So no, Victoria, we're not like you. We're nothing like you." The bailiffs led Victoria away. She didn't look back. Outside the courthouse, reporters swarmed, microphones thrust toward them, questions shouted from all directions. "Mr. Moretti, how does it feel to be vindicated? Mrs. Moretti, will you stay married now that the contract is fulfilled?" Luca raised his hand, silencing them. "I have one statement. Olivia and I got married under unusual circumstances. That's no secret. But what started as a transaction became the greatest love of my life. We're renewing our vows next month, a real ceremony with real promises. Anyone who wants to question the legitimacy of our marriage is welcome to attend and see for themselves." He turned to Olivia. Right there in front of dozens of cameras, he kissed her, deep and real and full of promise. When they pulled apart, Olivia was smiling through tears. "Was that for the cameras?" she whispered. "That was for you," he whispered back. "Always for you." The vow renewal took place on a beach at sunset. Jenny was Olivia's maid of honor. Marcus was Luca's best man. The guest list was small, real friends, real family. People who'd stood by them through everything. Olivia wore a simple white dress. Luca wore a dark suit. They stood barefoot in the sand waves, crashing behind them, and spoke the words they'd never really said before. "I, Luca, take you, Olivia, to be my wife, my partner, my equal. I promise to trust you with the truth even when it's hard. I promise to protect you, not because you're weak, but because you're precious. I promise to love you not conditionally or transactionally, but completely, for the rest of my life. I, Olivia, take you, Luca, to be my husband, my partner, my home. I promise to see the man you are, not just the mask you show the world. I promise to stand beside you in the battles we face. I promise to love you not despite your flaws, but including them, because they're part of what makes you real for the rest of my life." They exchanged new rings, simple bands, no diamonds, a fresh start. When the officiant pronounced them married, the small crowd erupted in applause. Luca kissed Olivia, and this time there was no contract hanging it over them. No threats, no lies, just love. That night in their bedroom at the house that had once felt like a prison and now felt like home, Luca held Olivia close. "Are you happy?" he asked. Deliriously. "You, more than I ever thought possible." He kissed her forehead. "I'm sorry it took almost losing everything for me to realize what mattered most." "I'm not, because we wouldn't be here without all of it. The pain, the fear, the chaos, it showed us who we really are. And I like who we are together." "Me too." Olivia rolled over to face him. "So what happens now? What's the plan?" "No plan, no strategy. We just live. We build a life that's ours. We make mistakes and fix them. We fight and make up. We grow old together. Is that enough?" "That's everything." 6 months later, Olivia stood in the hospital room where her mother was finally being discharged. The treatments had worked. Susan Chen was in remission, weak but alive and hopeful. "I still can't believe everything you went through," Susan said, hugging her daughter. "When Jenny told me the truth about the marriage, I thought my heart would stop. I'm sorry I lied to you. You were protecting me, I understand. And Luca, he's a good man, Olivia. Complicated but good. I can see how much he loves you." "I love him too, more than I ever thought I could love anyone," Susan smiled. "That's all I ever wanted for you. To be loved, to be happy. You have both now." At home, Luca was waiting. He'd prepared dinner, burned the pasta slightly, but the effort was what mattered. "Your mother's coming home tomorrow?" he asked. "Yes, finally. She wants to meet you properly, not as the man who saved her life, but as her son-in-law." "I'm terrified." "You face down assassins and federal investigations. You're terrified of my mother. Assassins I can handle. Mothers-in-law are a different challenge. Olivia laughed and kissed him. You'll be fine. She already loves you because I love you. That night, lying in bed, Olivia thought about how far she'd come. From that night at the gala champagne flute, trembling in her hands, staring at a future that looked like prison or enslavement, to this moment, safe, loved, free. What are you thinking about? Luca asked, pulling her closer. How everything changed after one night. Everything changed because of you. You're the bravest person I know. I wasn't brave. I was desperate. You were both, and you chose to fight instead of surrender. That's what I love most about you. You never gave up, even when you had every reason to. Neither did you. We saved each other. Yeah, we did. And as Olivia drifted off to sleep in her husband's arms, she realized something profound. She'd been forced to marry a cruel mafia boss, or so she'd thought. But Luca Moretti wasn't cruel. He was complex, damaged, and deeply human. And their marriage, born from desperation and necessity, had become the truest thing in her life. Everything had changed after one night. But it wasn't the night she signed the marriage certificate. It was the night she decided to stop seeing Luca as her captor and started seeing him as her partner. The night she chose love over fear. The night she realized that sometimes the best things in life come from the worst circumstances. And that night had saved them both.